We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
It's a beautiful Monday, Quad Cities. Hope everybody's out there enjoying the sun and fun. Jay Bird and I are stuck in this dreary old studio.
Oh, no.
Anyway, we're joking. Happy to be here. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Jay Bird, I know you did.
Yeah?
I don't know.
What do you said you didn't know you did?
Looked like you did.
It's okay. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's getting to be the weather today makes the weekend feel a little bit better because it's going to be a lot better coming up. Not too happy about a forecast of rain on Wednesday, but I mean, beautiful day today.
And it's my mom's birthday today.
Yeah,
so
happy
birthday to Mom.
To Mrs. Troy.
Yeah. So I did make some changes to the T-Roy .08 mock.
We will definitely get to that, yeah.
We'll get to that.
Mock Draft Monday. It's our final Mock Draft Monday because we have the draft on Thursday.
There was
a trade, yeah.
And that involved
Cleveland and the Baltimore Ravens, right?
Yeah. So Baltimore now has...
No, the Chiefs. Chiefs trade out of the 32nd spot?
31st spot.
31st spot, yeah.
And that is going to Baltimore now.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs do not have a first-round pick now.
But they've taken care of that offensive line. Even though they signed people, that takes care of some more problems. Orlando Brown is an all-pro. Obviously a big pick. And we were talking to our friend Dave Ellis last night, who's a Browns fan. It makes it look like more that the Ravens aren't looking at striking at the AFC North right now. So this is Cleveland's division to win. I think that's the consensus right now.
I mean, Baltimore's going to have to replace that hole.
Mm-hmm.
I think this just changes up their needs. They did have O-line down as a need, so I think it pops up to the top. So we'll see. Very interesting. So they'll have the 27th and the 31st overall pick now.
Okay, so
I did not make
go back and forth.
I think they'll take a tackle at one of those. So I'm going to keep what I have down. I had them taking Trayvon Warwig at 27, but this could switch. They could take a tackle there. I think they still take. How about this? I don't think the people behind them are all that into a tackle right now. I think they take Tevin Jenkins at 31 then.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'll look at it some more and dive in a little bit more, but they're definitely going to have to do something to help out Lamar Jackson. I mean, the retirement of Marshall Yanda before last season, this trade of this O-lineman, Brown to Kansas City, weakens their run game. It weakens everything. So I don't know. Stay away from them right now is my thought.
Yeah, I mean, we're in draft week. We're also, the weird thing is we're in Derby week as well. So Horse Not a Horse is going to be earlier in the week because we're going to have Americon on Thursday and Friday, and we're going to be more draft oriented than that. So our annual Horse Not a Horse will be on Wednesday.
I'm super excited.
So people out there on Facebook Live and out there listening on your radio or on your smartphone.
I haven't looked at any
tablet.
Names of any horses that are in this year's field, so you can have at it, Jay.
Horse Not a Horse is something we started when we were just a small podcast sitting in a bar and decided to take a look at horse names from the Derby, and I also make up names, and you can decide if that's ever been a horse that's participated in the Kentucky Derby or I made it up. It's a fun game. We've played it multiple times on different things. Also, Hole Not a Hole.
Yes, we did.
For golf, not for other
Masters,
things.
yes.
You may have played that at home, but we played it only for about golf reasons. So, yeah. So, but these are this one of the fun things that we do, and plenty of fun things that are going on here in the studio. Again, odds and ends over the weekend. I love to do what I always call housekeeping, especially beginning on a Monday. So this will probably take us a little bit longer. But T-Roy, we listened to this a little bit beforehand. I don't know how much you have a feeling on this. Madison Baumgartner pitched a no-hitter through 7 innings. It was a doubleheader, 7-inning game. Do you see this as a no-hitter? Do you not?
Yeah, it's he pitched the required amount of time for the game. I mean, it's not his fault that they reduced it.
Not agree with you more.
I mean, they made it a 7-inning game.
I know there's people out there that wish that we had didn't have a Rio in some situations, but the idea that we just listened to the show that was previous to us, the ESPN Barton, doesn't matter. Barton fart, in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much Barton fart.
And this guy speculating that his pitch count was too high. He would have never made it through the 8th and the 9th. He would have been pulled. Like, you are out of your mind to think that the Diamondbacks, who have nothing going for him this season, and Baumgartner, who's on the back end of his career.
Yeah, they're not worried about saving his GD career right now.
To sit there and say that, it shouldn't be recorded, it shouldn't be considered a no-hitter because he would have never made it because his pitch count was too high. And he was, what did they say? They compared him to Carlos Rodon, right? So who pitched a perfect game instead of plunking a guy, so almost perfect game. I think he threw 111 pitches, 109 pitches, and he was at 98 at the end of 7. And they're like, no way. Come on. Just come on. Why can't – first off, baseball, you did this. You allowed the COVID to change your season. You allowed it to change, like, your regulations. You allowed the doubleheader 2 7-inning games. Right. And then you're going to say, well, it wasn't the time. Come on, baseball. You're out of your mind. Man, they just can't stop.
They're the worst.
It's annoying. It really, really is beyond annoying that the idea of like no, and then and I'm sure there's people out there that are just so old and white and being like, oh no, that's the rules and them's the rules and doesn't matter if it's in a pandemic. Come on.
They made it a 7-inning game. He didn't.
Exactly.
All he did was not give up a hit. So it's a no-hitter.
So you can't sit there and say that. You can't speculate that, his pitch count was going to be way too high. He would have never made it. That's ridiculous. And it sucks.
You can
that's not
speculate
official.
that he maybe gives up a hit. But
sure, you can also speculate that he throws 18 more pitches, and they're all strikes.
Yeah.
Or not even that. Like the first guy pops out, the second guy pops out, and the third guy goes down. Yeah, the ground's out. Okay. I can't tell you. I can't tell you his.
He could have pitched the rest of the game on 6 pitches.
Exactly. So, but the thing is to sit there and say that his pitch count was too high, it wouldn't happen. That would also take me to go back to every game and be like, well, he threw a slider 62% of the time, and they were whiffing on that. So if he would have continued that, he would have been at the pace of this, or his changeup was this, or his fastball rate it ticked up. His fastball usually clocks at 94.6 miles per hour. But today, on this Sunday, it was registering at 97.2. Like, just stop. Somebody's feeding you this stuff. Like, how dare you sit there and say it's not even... that type of thing's annoying to me. All right, more housekeeping. I don't know how much to get you in a frenzy over this. I haven't talked... I purposely have not talked to you about this till the air.
Oh, boy. I always love these.
Yeah, I know.
This is you trying to get me going.
It really is. And then I'm going to take over for you after that. But
great.
Did you hear about the Cincinnati bar?
They're not going to air NBA games.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And? Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever?
I mean, no one goes to watch NBA basketball games anyway. Around here, I mean, us saying we're not going to air the games, no one cares.
Full backstory.
How many times have you been anywhere, except when the Bulls were on their magical run in the playoffs, that anybody is asked to watch an NBA game in a bar around here? Since Jordan retired, never. No one watches it. No one cares about the NBA Finals around here.
I think the worst part about it is I'm going to get the year wrong, and someone's going to correct me on this, but I think it's 2015. I think the down 3-1 LeBron James Cavs versus the Warriors, Game 6 and 7 might have been asked about.
Okay, I can maybe that one.
But that's not here. It's in Cincinnati. And the backstory is that after the incident where the young lady was shot by the police after wielding a knife in Columbus, Ohio, LeBron James put a tweet out there that says there needs to be accountability. Basically, the story is... He
tweeted a picture of the police officer and said, hold him accountable or something.
Yeah, inciting a riot is what the people have said. And multiple people. In basically Fox Sports Zone out of Kansas City, Jason Whitlock, who, by the way, we have to mention, just out of so someone doesn't come back and be like, you don't know what it's like. Jason Whitlock, who...
Didn't OJ weigh in on this, too?
He did. He said it was a little... Yeah, OJ
And OJ is a knife expert.
He is, yes. But so he would know if you're wielding a knife. And if you're, Jason Whitlock, who happens to be black, said that, yes, that he is basically inciting a riot. He's inciting harm upon someone. So this bar in Cincinnati says, we're not going to show an NBA game until he is expelled from the league. Well, all right.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you could get expelled, but all right. LeBron then back.
You've made yourself. And LeBron fired back in a very childish way.
Yeah.
I mean, in a very, very childish way. This guy is the guy who's... Oh, hold on. Don't get me wrong here. This bar owner is not right, and he stopped reaching for comment by saying, like, I think the athletes should just stick to sports. They're using their platform. Yes, I get it. But the thing is, you can't turn around and criticize Michael Jordan for years for not talking about anything, or Mike Trout for not talking about anything, or using their power for something, and then criticize another. And I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying in general, if you're going to bash him for saying that, you have to understand, it works both ways. So he's saying, I just think they should be sports. He's not right. Well, LeBron's response is like, welp.
Yeah, I saw that.
Guess we're not going to watch the game at the place. Like, no, you weren't going there anyway.
Stop by and have a beer?
Yeah, I was going to stop by and have a beer. No, you weren't.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't want to see you having a beer, LeBron. He would come in and be like, he definitely would have a Moscow Mule. I definitely would. Like, do you know how to make a... He would be the guy. LeBron would be the guy talking to the bartender and ask, do you make a good Moscow Mule? That's the type of customer LeBron would be.
You got any Sioux City sarsaparilla?
Yeah, he definitely. Do you make a good Moscow Mule? And the bartender would be like, yeah. And he's like, no. Do you make a good one, though? Because I was in this place 600 miles away, and they made it like this. Can you do that? Well, hold on. Let me text them real quick. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It was childish to be like, well, I was going to have a beer. It really was. The thing is, he also took down the tweet. The worst part about it is he took down the tweet.
My thing is this and I saw something really funny from Bill Maher on Twitter. It was one of his, it was a clip from his show. And anybody knows me knows that Bill Maher and I probably don't agree on a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in 100% agreement. And it kind of goes this, and it kind of speaks to some things that LeBron has done, where he basically defends China and communism, mm-hmm. and Maher's like talking about the generation that is whatever it is that 30% of this generation, this younger generation is thinks that communism is a good thing, and he goes, I hear you want to cancel capitalism. You want to cancel, what else did he say? Oh, you want to cancel Abe Lincoln? It's not that I don't hear your ideas. He goes, I just think they're stupid. He goes, it's like all of a sudden you decided that you want to poop in the kitchen and eat in the bathroom. He goes, it's different, but it's not good,
Yeah.
And that's my thing with LeBron. I mean, it goes back to the things that he decides to defend, and at the same time, he's he wants to stand up for human rights and things like that, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Like we should all, but at the same time, be consistent.
Human rights, is he standing up? Because he did back things in China.
That's what I'm getting at.
All right,
that's what I'm saying. The hypocrisy of what he does is the thing. It's like, dude, be consistent. You're being hypocritical, and it's like my whole thing when Kaepernick first took the knee and all this other stuff and things are going on, and he's down in Miami and he takes a knee and they're interviewing him in the locker room afterwards, and he's wearing a Fidel Castro T-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and Dan Le Batard took offense to that. Yep.
Yes, and you should. Anybody in their right mind should look at that and take offense to it. You don't wear that dude's shirt. That dude is a horrible human being. Mm-hmm. He's dead now, but like, come on. That's the thing. It's like you just don't grasp everything. I don't know. And I feel the same way about LeBron. I mean, listen, they always gave Jordan a hard time for saying Republicans buy sneakers too. I'm not this guy in Ohio that's saying I don't need to hear their opinions. And if they want to say their opinion, that's fine.
Hmm?
I don't care what they think. So
there you go.
I don't care what Michael
Does
Jordan
not.
thinks.
Not
I
gonna
don't
change it,
care
yeah.
what Troy Aikman thinks. I don't care what Tony Romo thinks when it comes to this. I know what I think, and I'll base my opinions on myself. I don't need an athlete to tell me theirs and try to influence me at all. If they want to, go ahead. Fine. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to ignore you because you're not anybody that I value their opinion. I love to watch these guys play their sports. That's great.
As we continue a little bit of housekeeping and clean things up here, I didn't realize that I don't feel this way. I didn't realize I don't look my best. You said I look like I had a good weekend or whatever else. Mike said I look as tired as 2-hour feeding. I was at the gym today. Apparently the sauna didn't do me well or anything like that. But it leads me to a good point that I wanted to bring up anyway.
What's that?
Well, apparently I have a different type of following outside of the Hassle Maniacs. Apparently I have the people out there that want to report on everything I do on the Facebook Live to other people. So I want to say hi to them. Know that I recognize you, that you're out there, and that you're reporting. And it goes as little things like this, T. Roy. If by chance we go down to Front Street Brewery and we talk about the ABV that's going on there, and that it's, I don't know, 12:16 on a Friday or whatever else, and things may happen and come up later on at 6 o'clock at night, and someone may bring up, well, was it the strong ABV that you had at 12:16? When I'm like, no, they were just samples or whatever else. Well, someone's watching and reporting it. The other thing is this. A week ago, I sat here. Hold on a second. A week ago, I sat here, and I explained to everybody, I truly feel like I explained to everyone that the thing that I wrote a week ago in the glass houses that I said, I have made mistakes. I have owned up to them. And what do you always say, T-Ray? You say, people aren't sorry. They're sorry they get caught. Right. Well, it's actually the follow-up. Do you make amends for those things? Do you say, like, hey, I've done this wrong. I'm going to make it better? I feel like I've done that. But the thing is, the fact that someone would take what I wrote and compare it to my domestic situation and report to somebody and say, like, I can't believe he's talking about someone or writing about someone. Am I the equivalent of a man who has changed 7 or more lives of young men, groomed them in a way, or affected their professional careers? Not at all. But someone's going to sit there and say that I act like I'm on the high and mighty and report to somebody else? This is insane to me.
Well, you know, those people that do that are spineless. They wouldn't come and say anything to your face because they have no spine. And if they did, and I was happen to stand there, I would scare the crap out of them. And I would make them poop or pee down their leg.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the fact that we do this daily and we go on the air and we put ourselves out there. I'm fine that we share our stories. I'm fine that we do everything else. And I'm also fine that I've created this type of thing where I'm open and I'm also out there in the public. That's the other thing. Unfortunately, I'm not done. Unfortunately, the fact of the matter is when you're nice enough to people to shake their hands, to say, Jay Foster, good to know you, and know their name and ask them about their story and get to know them so that somebody, doesn't matter if I don't think about them 15 minutes later, 15 days later, 15 months later. The fact that someone goes, I know Jay, I met him, had a good conversation, him and I are friends, and then they can report about things they think they know about me is nuts to me. And as a matter of fact, almost, is insane to me. Which I thought about this driving in today, and I was like, you know what? And I say it's insane to me, it's nuts to me, but I'm like, I get it. They think they know me. They think they want to report, or they think they're doing a good job. The guy that says these things about me, and I say the guy because it was reported as a guy, is nothing more than a coward. And if it's a female or whatever else, that's fine too. I don't care. At least you're watching. At least you're listening. But the idea of like, oh, I'm going to go under a fake name, Facebook or whatever else, or hide. I want to let you know, I can't see everyone who's watching. The computer's right in front of me, T-Ray.
Right.
I can see the people that are friends of mine that are watching. I can't see everyone that's watching.
Right.
So if you're hiding under a fake thing, if you're doing whatever else, if you're listening on the radio, either way. If you're reporting, report this. He acknowledged me today. He acknowledged me. This small circle of friends that you run in, and I repeat, small circle of friends.
Small balls. That
you run in, that you want to share these things about it, that's fine. But to be like, I can't believe he wrote this article and tried to say this about this person, when that's, those people that are affected are someone's, they have parents out there.
Right.
And it would have been a future. And to compare and be like, I can't believe he did this is.
So let me get this right.
Yes.
Us having samples at a sponsor was called a bad thing? Is that what I'm reading?
What do you mean?
So this report person, this spineless twit.
Okay.
And then come at me.
No.
Come at me, bro.
No, it was completely. I think you're off.
But you said something about us being down there having the samples of the.
Oh yeah, they talked. Yeah, they brought up.
So they brought up
that
the
we were
fact that we were down there, and that
beers.
was a bad thing
on a Friday afternoon. Yeah.
But that's our sponsor. That's what we do.
I know.
For our sponsors,
I know.
try the beer, talk about their beer, talk about their food.
Yep.
We also had a huge sandwich.
Absolutely.
Both times. The samples were this big.
I guess we're just.
And then we had we started the show with a glass of their regular beer, and then we had samples.
100%.
So basically, we had the equivalent of maybe when we didn't even drink all the samples. We had the equivalent of a beer.
No.
Maybe beer and a half. Because we didn't even drink all of our.
That's not reported. That's not what was reported. That's not it at all.
Yeah, that person's a twit, and just ignore it. And whoever they're telling it to, and I can imagine everything, whatever. Just go screw yourself.
It's funny.
Seriously.
It's funny when you can just mention things about me personally, and I think I'm pretty much too. It's so strange because I'm open about certain things and I'm closed about other certain things. Okay,
right.
So like, and obviously the person doesn't know me well enough to know that what I'm going through personally, but they know me well enough to what they see on Facebook Live or they listen on the radio to report to another person, hey, this person's doing this or saying this, and I mean, which is even better. My favorite thing about this person has quote unquote said I could care less about him, but they were reporting what I'm saying or doing on the air. So right now, if we were to have if let's just say Single Speed was sponsoring us, shout out to Single Speed Brewery, by the way, in Cedar Falls, Waterloo.
When they have sponsors.
Yes. And we were sitting there and we were having a victory dance. Oh yeah. By the afternoon, it would be well, did you have a good time? Yep. Such and such. Somebody reported that you were drinking beer in the air. Well, no shit. We've done that before.
Yeah.
And part of the thing, it happens. But to sit there and report and be like, oh, like I'm off, I'm a bad person, like I'm the same thing. Like I didn't write last week to feel high and mighty. If nobody doesn't, then you don't get me.
The thing too, I kind of want to clarify this as well. When we started this here at the station, one thing that we talked to the station about is that a lot of our sponsors are going to be restaurant, bar related, brewery related, even.
Yes.
And they're going to want to bring in food and beer samples for us to talk about on air.
How about our general manager just said, you're going to have beer, right? That's your thing.
And we said, yeah, I mean, we're not going to be sitting on air getting drunk, which we don't do.
No.
But we'll sample some beers.
But this is what you do? You listen to find something?
So you wanted to tell
to find something?
It's fine. So they're probably a big fan of...
I'm saying, when I started this entire segment, I'm a fan of the new fandom that we have. And that is the anti-hassle maniac to report on anything that we do that might seem like I'm getting better off by tattling. I don't know. If that's what your day is around, then great.
I hope they're watching.
I don't care if they are. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are, and the person reported to is.
Yeah.
They may tell me to my face, I don't listen to that. I don't watch that. I could care less.
Well,
Get out of here.
If they're watching right now, that's for you.
Get out of
All
here.
those I threw up, more for you.
They're out of their minds. Like, and that's fine. I guess we've been that. And going back to a week ago, before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
And Mikey's right. I'm giving this person or people, the small group of friends is what he's right. He says, I'm giving this person way too much airtime. They don't deserve my time. The small group of people, small group of friends is what I'm alluding to. Don't deserve this much time. But I assumed when I wrote that a week ago, it would be he's got a bone to pick, an agenda, or he's just a hack of a writer. I've heard those. I didn't think it would be like any decisions or any actions I've taken would be comparable to what this former news director did. I didn't realize it was going to be.
Mikey's right. So let's
yeah. So anyway, that's what you do when you do house cleaning, and it's over with and it's said done with. And I guarantee you what, this person is no longer probably listening anymore. They only tune in for this for the first 15 minutes to see what's going on, to see if there's a beer in front of me or whatever else, and then they're tuned out now because they don't want to hear it, and they're probably texting someone and saying like, "Hey, did you say anything about me to Jay? Because I think they're talking about me. I think he's talking about me." So anyway, yeah, we got to go to break. We'll talk sports. We'll get right into it. Obviously, it's a big draft week. We got the Derby coming up. We've got more things than just this nonsense. Yeah, and all kinds of things. So I appreciate you guys staying with me during that whole housekeeping rant and everything else. But we'll be right back here on Don't Hassle Us for Local, ESPN 1170 AM.
And speaking of our sponsors, this is one of our favorites, our friends at Tri-City Equipment. They've been rocking and rolling since 1934, and if you haven't been to Pints lately, come and check out the patio. We got a bunch of new furniture from them, Bird.
Yeah.
Showed up here a little over a week and a half ago, so I want to thank Kevin, Kurt, and Tara down there for all their help. And remember, you guys, they do deliver to all Quad City residents, so stop down to 527 West 4th Street in Davenport and check out everything Tri-City Equipment has to offer. You can call them if you have any questions at 563-322-5382. Remember, showroom hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's Tri-City Equipment, 527 West 4th Street in Davenport.
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and cashing.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Looking for a job with a stable company where hard work and good attitudes are rewarded with advancement opportunities? XPAC in Milan, Illinois, the Quad Cities' leading logistics provider, has immediate openings on the first and second shifts. Start your career and enjoy attendance incentives, great benefits, and teamwork that makes a difference. Make XPAC your new work family. Apply online at xpac.com. That's XPAC.com. XPAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Fun, saving money. Not fun, utility bills. Fun, generating your own clean, renewable energy. Not fun, flushing dollar bills down a toilet. Fun, calling Square One Solar for a no-pressure, free in-home estimate and getting a free solar phone charger. Not fun, paying your electric bill for the rest of your life. Let Square One Solar show you the benefits of solar. Over a decade of solar experience. Financing available, and for a limited time, buy one solar panel, get one free. Get your free solar analysis today. Square One Solar. Make the solar switch.
Dreaming about new landscaping or some updates to your home? Since you've seen so much of both this year, then get to the Home and Garden Show at the QCCA Expo Center, April 30th through May 2nd. It's 2 shows in one. The QCCA Expo Center and QCBR have joined together to bring you inspiration for your backyard retreat, including landscape equipment, lawn care solutions, and garden decor. Plus great ideas on home improvement and remodeling from some of the Quad City's best. Sponsored in part by Mid-America Basement Systems and CBI Bank and Trust. Get more information and advance tickets at QCCAExpoCenter.com.
Find your style with Patriot Lighting. Come check out Menard's great selection of outdoor lighting and brighten your home today. The Santa Fe Outdoor Wall Light gives a classic look, while the Temple Outdoor Wall Light adds timeless elegance. Find your style and save 11% on all outdoor Patriot Lighting. Get 11% off everything now at Menard's. Good through May 1st. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Kyle Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. I think the Jets are going to love him. That's what Zach Wilson's college coach says of the quarterback projected in every NFL.com mock draft to be New York's selection with that second overall pick. BYU assistant Fezi Sataki tells the New York Post that Wilson has the perfect demeanor to succeed as a Jet, saying, quote, "That type of innate swagger and confidence and competitive nature that New York has, that is Zach Wilson." It's not Wilson, but Trey Lance, who's the most mentally ready quarterback in the draft, according to his old coach. North Dakota State's Matt Entz says he let Lance run the offense from the field because he was so good at analyzing defenses on the fly and audibly into the perfect play. Lance and Wilson will be among the 13 prospects who will be at the draft in Cleveland to hear their name called, and we'll be there too. We'll have all 3 days of the draft live on NFL Network starting this Thursday night at 8 Eastern. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Come in and celebrate Lowe's Spring Fest before it's over with 4 bags of select Scott's mulch for $10. Or to grow your garden, we've got 4 11.8-ounce Bounty vegetables and herbs for $10. Give your garden and lawn the full spring treatment. Springfest, a festival of fun and savings for your garden and total home. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Offers valid through 4/28 while supplies last. In-store only. Selection varies by location. U.S. only, excluding Alaska and Hawaii.
Napa know-how.
Get a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil and a platinum filter for just $26.48. They're like the only couple you don't mind inviting over. They help you with your car, they save you money, and they never display their affection publicly. That's Napa full synthetic and a platinum filter for $26.48. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/21.
Drive around all day with the latest sports talk in your car on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back. Eddie's trying to hand out some camel clutches down here if anybody's messing with Jay Bird, he says.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No one's messing with me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's great.
I think a couple things. Mikey was right. And then also, Easer A says, don't focus on the haters, pay attention to us. He's right. The Hassle Maniacs out there that are good. What was the question today on the Craphead Hasslers Twitter? If you could fight anyone in the Octagon, who would it be and why Adam or whatever else? So I guess I got to
did not see that.
I guess I got to add a former news director or whatever. Saw him, by the way.
I don't think he would be much of a fighter.
No, not at all. Did you see our friend Dave Lavora's tweet?
Yeah, did you see what I tweeted after it?
No. Was it good?
Yeah, okay. I had so Dave. I'll go back and read it.
Okay, well, just as long as it's appropriate. Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, no, it's totally appropriate.
I'm the one saying that's got to be appropriate after what I did about 10 minutes ago.
Dave said, now that I'm fully vaccinated, I thought it might be a good idea to start working out again. Huge mistake. This gym sucks. Honestly, I don't think my trainer had any idea what he was doing. He just kept muttering under his breath about my muscly arms, and he put a picture of a certain place down there.
Yeah.
And so I quote tweeted it or whatever, and then I put, well, at certain picture place, what say you? Certain friend of ours named KF really liked it.
Okay.
So just just petty little stuff. I don't know. I think I had a few drinks in me once I saw that one and did that.
Well,
I didn't. It's not anything inappropriate. I just said, hey, what do you say?
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're going into the draft week. Enough times for the Mock Draft Monday. I know this week as a guest, not today though, we will have our friend Emily Van Buskirk on as a radio, as a phone call guest. I know that for
what day?
Probably tomorrow.
Sweet.
So we'll talk to her and anything that changes that's coming up.
She's going to Cleveland if I am reading.
Are you sure?
Tweets right.
She got it.
I think so. I think she's going to Cleveland.
Okay.
I think. Now, I don't know if she's going to be like in the building or if she's doing a show from there or something, but I am almost 100% positive she's going to Cleveland.
Okay.
But we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk to her tomorrow about that. She's busy today. I did message her earlier. I also messaged a couple other people out of different locations. Our friend Alex.
When are we going to get Leah Van in? She's a Cowboy fan. I want to talk to her.
All right, I will message her, and hopefully we'll have her tomorrow as a phone call guest then. Okay. I will ask her if she's free tomorrow and or Wednesday. So which one would be better for her? Couple more things to go through. We are 88 days away from the Tokyo Olympics, and now a fourth wave of the global pandemic has hit Japan. They are on a declaration of emergency. Bars, department stores, theaters across Japan will remain closed for 17 days in Tokyo and Japan. So there's definitely concerns out there, even during the vaccine rollout. As of last week, Japan has administered just over 2 million vaccine shots, which is roughly 1% of its population. By comparison, the U.S. has rolled out about 42% of Americans. So Japan is behind. They're on a fourth wave. So
It
what's
seems
coming?
odd. It's a very small island. You think they'd be a lot better at that?
Yeah. So, well, do you want to do the timeline? I mean, at the time when it started in March of 2020, Japan was very much on the forward thinking of this, like trying to shut it down. And people, I mean, I'm saying this right now without any like Google research, but I'm telling you, I could do it within 15 minutes, less than. That there was articles out there that Japan is doing it right. Japan shut everything down. Japan's got, this is the way to do it, and Americans are not following suit. And I know you can put Japan in for any other country because we've seen those articles where I guess.
Well, it just depends on who the president is, if we're doing it right or wrong.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
I mean, but by the way, this country, the majority of our national media reports things. It depends on who the president is, if we're doing a good job or not.
Fair. I was just going to say, like, a little bit less than that. Depends on if you want to report mean things about your peers, fellow Americans, then go ahead. But I see what you're getting at, and I do understand that, and I recognize it. But again, I don't really want to report and say, like, we're a bunch of dum-dums, and everyone else is doing it right, and now they're on their fourth wave, and now the IOC has to unveil a new playbook this week, which explains how the Olympics and the Paralympics will safely welcome over 15,000 athletes into their country. This is not looking good. 88 days out, and they're on the fourth wave. They're down for 17 days, so let's see. That's going to put them down to 71 days. That's good math in my head.
Do you think the Japanese people are happy?
No.
With the Chinese government?
No, they're not happy with this, and they're not happy with the Olympics. I'm telling you right now. You can, again, less than 15-minute research. You can look this stuff up. Yeah.
Okay.
And I know, and here's the deal. How about double down, triple down, quadruple down, and go to a different site besides just one and then quote it? But, yeah, no, not at all.
Okay.
But why, I mean, as much as I ask, I say yes, why do you think Japan residents would be upset about the Chinese
Government?
Government, yeah.
Well, I mean, from what we understand, their slowness to report what was going on when they...
fair.
Say what you want.
Yeah.
We don't know how it all started, but we do know that it originated out of.
I know, yeah.
Out of there, and they didn't do what most people I could collectively think a great job of being on the forefront of reporting this.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, and they're like kind of neighbors in a way. They're pretty close.
They most definitely are. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like, all right, how do they feel about it? That's my thing. It's like, you come to this country and it's like, everybody's hating on China. I'm like, well, I don't know. Ask the countries that are closer to China how they feel about it.
This is
I don't know. That's just maybe a weird way to look at it, but
it's going to be an interesting situation. It's not one that we. Oddly enough, not one that we pay attention to enough. The situation of how the population looks at the government in Japan, because we just don't report on it. But we'll report about how other countries feel about us. But the Prime Minister, Yoshida Suga, is he's in a tight spot. The population does not want this Olympics to happen, and this is a lot of money. Invested into this thing.
Well, he's not going to get reelected if he pisses off the population.
If
they're having problems getting it under corralled, if you will, I guess I don't understand why they'd be. You said what her percentage of their population has been vaccinated?
1%.
What?
Mm-hmm.
They have a pretty large population.
Yep.
I mean, for it being
just over 2 million have had the vaccine shots.
How many people live on that island?
Well, that 1%, that would be, 200 million? Something like that.
All right, good math. I love how you're back.
Yeah.
What in the heck?
So, look at these numbers. When this was reported about when the things came out, okay?
Yeah.
And it was like, Japan doesn't have any problems. They're on the forefront. They don't have, look at Americans are dumb. We are dumb. Not Americans, we are dumb. That's what was being reported.
Look at that dumb American.
You can Google. These people are writing this. Washington Post, New York Times. America's not ready for this.
Have you ever seen
They're egotistical. They're not paying attention.
You ever seen the episode of South Park where the Chinese announcers are making fun of Americans?
Mm-mm.
And they're like, hey, look at this. I'm going to do my American voice. He goes, hey, that looks really, really cool. I want to buy that.
On a 7-day average, of reported COVID-19 cases in Japan, a 7-day average. They did not reach over 1,000 until roughly August or September of 2020. Then it spiked in January of 2021 to over 6,000 cases. Then a 7-day average. And now they are at 4,698. So during that time when people are writing about how dumb we are and we're not following things, we're not doing anything, Japan's got it right. And again, I just don't want to keep throwing in Japan. You can throw in any country because it's happened all over the place. And vice versa. There was also the things where people are like, well, they're doing the herd mentality, and then they end up spiking later, too. So let's be honest here. Whatever's reported is reported. But
yeah. I remember that.
The idea of this whole
Sweden
thing,
or something. Yeah.
The idea of the whole thing, is crazy that they sat there and said, like, oh, this is how it should be done, and we're not doing it right. And
so if the Olympics, do they suspend it again, or do they just move it?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, cancellation is still an option.
But how about moving it?
It's in question. Also,
the Olympics have been canceled before, obviously due to world wars.
Yeah, well, it was postponed last year too. The torch relay has been detoured how many times now? No, these are what's going on. We're not reporting this stuff. Like just be like, again, it's been detoured several times since it began on March 25th. And by the way, when I say detoured, it's now banned from passing the torch for the rest of this week. It's not traveling.
Oh. Does it go
It's the Olympics. Again, we're just like, By the way, who won the Oscars last night?
I don't know.
Me neither. These are things that are happening. Like, it's like the things that we used to when we were kids. Like, oh my gosh, can you imagine not seeing Carl Lewis in '84?
Yeah.
And now we're just like, I'm just trying to point out something here that a year ago, you may have people out there on social media that are watching Facebook Live, listening in your cars, doing whatever else. You may have shared an article and said, hey, dummies, hey, neighbors, look at how this is going and everything's going hunky-dory. Look. You guys aren't social distancing. And now look at it. And then
the lady that complains because she yells at 15-year-old kids to mask up when she's at Chipotle, and then the kids make fun of her when she leaves.
Yeah,
she gets upset about that lady.
Yeah, because I know there's people. I know who you are. I mean, I oddly enough read some of your posts or whatever else, and it's never, and just because I don't comment on them doesn't mean I don't pay attention. I just go, okay, well, that person clearly is upset about something, and it's not worth my time. But yeah, I am somebody who still hold on to the things that I grew up with. Okay, like honestly, we joke around about it, but I still hold a newspaper. I still read a newspaper. I still do the crossword. I go in the sauna. I hold the things in the Olympics is something that I really, really enjoy. I like the Olympics. I like the idea of amateur athleticism and everything else. And I know that you can throw in the NBA or whatever else. I don't care. Go on and on. Break down what I just said. But the idea of we're going to have this, and then be like, well, we don't have this under control. Now, again, reported cases in Japan, we don't know exactly what wasn't being reported then, too, just like you pointed about the Chinese government before when they said everything was hunky-dory and they wanted to have the Olympics. Now, you look at that. The Olympics would have been in July of 2020, right? Here's your numbers. You're looking at it right now, T-Roy. 1,000 reported less than a week, right? Mm-hmm. They don't spike until about the time they say that the Olympics are canceled. So maybe it's just a matter of keeping the numbers down because we want to make sure.
I just can't understand how they're not getting the vaccine out.
I don't know either.
That's just it shake my head. But all right. I guess the other thing is if it gets canceled again.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just a permanent cancel this time? We just wait till 2024?
Gotta be.
Right?
It's just gotta be because one...
Because the Winter Olympics is next year anyway, 2022.
And so are they... The thing is, Tokyo's just got so much... And now it's almost like doubled what their original investment was into this because of having to put everything back. So...
I get it. It sucks. I mean, you got to feel sorry for... the businesses that
and there's no way you can postpone it to you can't move it to a different spot. Where are they going to go?
I don't know, like Atlanta?
that held it in '96. I wonder what it looks like there right now. The spot that they
Olympic
had.
Village.
Yeah, the Olympic Village. What was Okay, so 20. Let's go 2016. That's probably the best bet that we're gonna do here. We'll
see. 2016. It was in.
Don't be like super smart while I'm googling it. Just Rio.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brazil, right?
Yeah. So, do they still have stuff up? Could they host it in a matter of heartbeat like that? But I don't know the numbers.
Matt
of
Lauer
Brazil.
won't be there this time.
No, he won't. No, he will not.
He got fired.
Yeah, but you got to find a place that has the Olympic Village that can handle it. I'm just really, really interested in how this is going to happen. And
what did Matt Lauer get fired for again? Oh, inappropriate actions in a workplace.
Yeah, behind closed doors in his office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing. People talked about that.
Weird.
Odd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big news, though. Big news. Over the weekend, UFC 261 happened in Jacksonville. It was the first time UFC had fans in since the global pandemic hit. Kamaru Usman knocked out Jorge Masvidal in the second round with the right hand, I believe.
Someone broke their leg, too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Ugh.
I saw it. Yeah, I heard that. I actually didn't watch the video. I heard about it, though.
Dave Ellis showed it to me.
Yeah. Rose knocked out previously undefeated Zhang Weili. The reason I say Rose Namajunas, yeah, that's it, in less than 90 seconds. Yeah, and I guess the biggest takeaway was the yes, and the person you're talking to was Chris Weidman. He had a leg injury just 17 seconds into his fight against Uriah Hall. He's out of surgery and he's smiling. Speaking of surgery, knee surgery, leg surgery. It was, gosh, what show was it on? Ryan Fitzpatrick was on a show recently, and he recalled the worst text he ever sent in his life. And it was to Alex Smith after the knee injury and his leg injury. Yeah. And when it was first reported, it was something like tibia. Am I saying it right? Whatever else. And Fitzpatrick texted him to be like, hey, bro, all good. Like, I had the same surgery, and I'm back and moving now. Everything's going to be good. And Alex Smith just wrote back, yeah, I think this one's a little different. Yeah, like, thanks for the text. Yeah, I think this one might be a little different. It was right back. And he's like, he's never forgiven himself for just, like, downplaying. Like, you're going to be good, brother. And he's like, the first of, like, 16 surgeries. He's like,
yeah. No, I almost lost my leg.
Yeah, but yeah, Chris Weidman's, he's out of surgery, and he's good to go there. But that was a big weekend there. Hopefully some of you took advantage of our friends at Elite Sportsbook, their parlay there, that if you didn't hit, you bet $25, you get $25 back. So it's all good out there. But we're going to have to take our second break here at Don't Hassle Us Local. We're going to talk more about the draft. We're going to do a mock draft, and we're going to look at some draft blunders, if you will.
Ooh.
And when we come back from break here at Don't Hassle Us Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
We've been talking about our buddies at Locals Love Us for a long time. They take the time to poll you Quad citizens and come up with everywhere you like. So that way you don't have to ask people what to do. All you need to do is grab their beautiful little guide. It has a table of contents up. You find what you're looking for, or go to localsloves.com. You click on Quad Cities and browse your favorites. It's easy to use, and they're ranking all the popular places for you. So please check them out. That's our buddy Chopper at Locals Love Us. They're your guide to the best.
We're streaking. We're going up through the quad to the gymnasium. There's more coming.
Frank, get in the car.
Everybody's doing it.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Josh Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
You say you're in the market for a truck or sedan. Maybe your family needs a minivan. Perhaps you just want a little coupe. Well, you can find them all at Weber Auto Group. WeberAutoGroup.com.
Visit Weber Auto Group's brand new showroom in Silvis. They have vehicles based on what you want or need this spring savings season. With over 260 vehicles in stock, ride off in the car of your dreams.
WeberAutoGroup.com.
It's not okay to live life feeling lousy when you can fix it. Limitless Mail has helped thousands of men erase lousy symptoms like trouble sleeping, no energy, loss of muscle mass, poor concentration, belly fat, low sex drive, depression. These are signs of low testosterone that can be eliminated. Take the quiz and schedule your complimentary consult at limitlessmale.com. The men's health experts. Insurance accepted.
Attention homeowners! We know March, April, and May mean mild weather and the slowest months of the year for our business. So we've got great news for you. TMI is slashing prices and giving away deluxe furnaces for half price with the purchase of air conditioning. That's right, half price furnaces. Great utility and manufacturer rebates, plus this half off sale means huge savings. Don't miss out on this opportunity to get the best deal of the year. Estimates are free, so call today. TMI, heating, air conditioning, and plumbing.
Spring is showtime at BetMGM. Baseball is back, and as the weather warms up, the hockey and basketball action gets even hotter. It's the perfect time to take a shot at an easy 100 from the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today using code FOSTER100 and win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Bulls or Heat, and if either team hits a three, you win regardless of your bet's outcome. No matter what your favorite sport is, BetMGM is always at your fingertips with innovative parlay selection builders, daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use code FOSTER100 to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on the Bulls or Heat to hit a three. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm Kyle Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. I think the Jets are going to love him. That's what Zach Wilson's college coach says of the quarterback projected in every NFL.com mock draft to be New York's selection with that second overall pick. BYU assistant Fezi Zataki tells the New York Post that Wilson has the perfect demeanor to succeed as a Jet, saying, quote, that type of innate swagger and confidence and competitive nature that New York has, that is Zach Wilson. It's not Wilson, but Trey Lance, who's the most mentally ready quarterback in the draft, according to his old coach. North Dakota State's Matt Ince says he let Lance run the offense from the field because he was so good at analyzing defenses on the fly and audibly into the perfect play. Lance and Wilson will be among the 13 prospects who will be at the draft in Cleveland to hear their name called, and we'll be there too. We'll have all 3 days of the draft live on NFL Network starting this Thursday night at 8 Eastern. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Come in and celebrate Lowe's Spring Fest before it's over with 4 bags of select Scott's mulch for $10. Or to grow your garden, we've got 4 11.8-ounce Bounty vegetables and herbs for $10. Give your garden and lawn the full spring treatment. Spring Fest, a festival of fun and savings for your garden and total home. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Offers valid through 4/28 while supplies last. In-store only. Selection varies by location. U.S. only, excluding Alaska and Hawaii.
Napa know-how.
Get a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil and a platinum filter for just $26.48. They're like the only couple you don't mind inviting over. They help you with your car, they save you money, and they never display their affection publicly. That's Napa full synthetic and a platinum filter for $26.48. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/21.
Inject a little energy into your workday. Turn on the sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Don't Hassle Us Local here on AM 1170.
That's right. Just got confirmation that Alex Strofe is going to talk to us at 1:30. He's our man out of Wisconsin. He's a Green Bay guy, has a daily podcast. We're going to talk to him about the Green Bay Packers and their draft. I'm going to reach out to, that's the other one I forgot to mention, our friend who worked like 17 years in Chicago sports media that we talked to once. I'm going to talk to her about the draft. She actually has it's a Sportscaster and Her Son podcast. She has a really, really good podcast. You guys should check it out. But they did a mini episode. It was your for sure draft pick that you thought was going to happen, and like a good, like you were like, this is a great pick and it panned out, or one that you hated and it ended up panning out in a good way. And then she reached out to a couple people in media, and it's deep. Like she's got years covering the Bears, okay?
Right.
And I need to pull up her name because I'm not doing her justice right now. But she reaches out to other people. And so their mini podcast is actually going to be a two-parter. And she's talking to people that either played in the league and are working for ESPN Radio up there in Chicago, or they write for them. And the misses for the Bears is disgusting. Like, it's really, really bad, their picks. Like, if you going all the way back, it's really bad. So it's just, it's got to suck. If you're a diehard Bear fan, you got to be like, oh. Like, I remember when they drafted Cedric Benson. I thought for sure that was a good thing. The stories behind that, like what happened, it was a bad relationship from jump. He held out 17 days. Thomas Jones was already a leader in the locker room, and it only made him better amongst the teammates. Cedric Benson ended up playing, I think, 3 or 4 years with the Bears and went to the Bengals, had decent enough. Now he's no longer in the league. And really just a blip on the radar. You have the Cade McNown type of thing. They had someone on there. Gosh, I wish I was writing this down. They had someone down there who was actually part of, like, scouting for player development, everything. And he said the worst pick that he could think of, and it was like this offensive lineman. And he said he just didn't have the football personality. And he said there's a difference thing. There's a difference thing of, like, the personality of the type of person you are, the work ethic. But there's a football personality where you live and breathe football. And when you get to that level of professionalism in the NFL, football needs to consume you. And the guy he goes, we just didn't, we never even looked at the box to check it off. He just didn't have it. So it's interesting because of the whole thing, like, the draft isn't, well, I saw them play 12, 13 games in NCAA last year. It's just not. And that's why things changed. And that's why Baker Mayfield, when he went, that day it came out, there was other people, like Josh Rosen was supposed to go before him, and that people projected him. And the Browns held everything close to him. That's what the 49ers do now, and we'll talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more about your interviews. There's more about... Oh, and this is a great... The guy I was talking about, the Bears, this lineman, who didn't have the football personality. The guy said, who used to work for the Bears, said, I should have known better. Joe Paterno, because the guy was from Penn State, he's like, Joe Paterno never gave us direct answers. Good kid, works hard, knows the game. Those are the three things. It just, no matter what, it doesn't matter if you're, the best of the best, the worst of the worst. Good kid, works hard, knows the game. That's it. So, and that's what we talk about a lot about when we said about this 3 weeks ago about Zach Wilson. I'm like, I don't know anything about him, but I tell you what, I just heard this great interview from his coach, which, by the way, I automatically smelled BS, because what coach is going to, right at that point, you're recruiting your next quarterback. Right. And, a junior in high school, a sophomore, that's going to be your next quarterback in 6, maybe 5 years. Might be faster, but you're going to be like, oh, look what we did. We created a second-round draft pick overall. So, yeah, and that's what it is. That's why the interviews are the way they are. That's why they put them through tests. And going back to it, I really, truly do not know what the 49ers are going to do at 3. I have no clue. I have no idea. I think Atlanta is absolutely 100% crazy if they take a quarterback at 4. If they can, if someone wants a quarterback, I think they should be answering the phone calls or making their own phone calls to kick tires with anybody, and if they think they can get Kyle Pitts somewhere else. That being said, I think the Dolphins might actually trade back again and add more draft stock.
If they don't get Pitts.
I do think Jamar Chase is going to go 5 to the Bengals. I do not think they're going offensive lineman. And so what I think I know is Trevor Lawrence at 1, Zach Wilson at 2. Have no clue what the 49ers are doing at 3. And more and more, I look about it and think about it. I'm not sold on Mac Jones at all.
Yeah.
I do believe he is the equivalent of A.J. McCarron or Greg McElroy. And A.J. McCarron was like, I'm going to be the next Tom Brady. He's not.
Right.
and I think at 3, the best choice for them would be Justin Fields. And I'm sorry, I don't think it's Trey Lance. Now, you like him there, but yeah, the guy. I hate to say it. Once you play at that, it doesn't matter. Once you play post high school, it's important. Whatever else, and yes, what do you do? 187 complete attempts without an interception.
281. 287, I believe.
I think it was 187, and he attempted 211 passes. Or he only attempted 211 in his career. He made 187 straight.
I thought it was 321 pass attempts, but his first 287 came without an
That sounds
interception.
about right.
I think that's what we said last week.
Pretty good, but
Yeah.
he was a 3-star coming out of high school. Most Power Fives wanted him to be a D-back or a wide receiver. Justin Fields, by the way, was the number 2 overall coming out of high school behind Trevor Lawrence. So I do think that's 3. At 4, I do not envy where the Falcons are at one bit. They are damned if they do, damned if they don't. If I was the Falcons, I'd trade out of it, and I'd add draft stock. I'd build for the future. Matt Ryan's got a 2-year deal, and they cannot cut him. The dead cap space is something really, really disgusting if they cut him after this year and even June of 2000. If they cut him June of 2022, and even it's worse, June of 2022. It's not as bad, but it's still bad in June of 2023. So they're not going to cut Matt Ryan at all. Or I'm sorry, June 20. If they do it June of this year. And
Talk
June
said they're going to trade Julio Jones too.
There is that. I saw that trades for that.
No, I did make some changes on this, and there's another change I need to make. But Gregory Rousseau's kind of been falling down a lot of draft boards.
He has. You're right. Yeah.
And so I moved him out of the first round and adjusted some draft picks. So right now, those changes were made. I have the Vikings taking Kwity Paye at 14, the Jets taking Jalen Phillips at 23, and then Buffalo taking Zaven Collins at 30, and then Rousseau going at 33 to Jacksonville. Another guy I'm going to move out of the first round is Jalen Mayfield.
And why is that?
His pro days weren't that great. Another guy that now is projecting to go first round, Samuel Cosmi. I'm just going to switch those two out. So Cosmi then will go to Jacksonville at 25. Cosmi's the tackle from Texas. Mayfield's out of Michigan. And then I'll have Mayfield then go to Miami at 36.
You know what I'm going to do as we're on the air, and this is something I do not like when we do. But Eddie, our friend, he's right.
What's he doing now?
No, he just said, "Oh, brother Packers, eyes rolls." But I'm going to text. I'm going to start somewhere because I don't know as much, and I can work my way up to Minneapolis. But I'm going to start with Rosso. Say how much you found in the draft. Would you like to weigh in on what the Vikings are going to do sometime this week?
Yeah.
So that he's right. So I'm sending this text right now.
Yeah, he's a huge Viking fan, right?
Yep. And
so Eddie, not just you, we have two friends that are weird. Yeah, Jay, I been studying this thing even more now as it gets down to this final week, and I think unless there's another trade, I think I'd stay pat with where I'm at. That Baltimore trade was huge. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to utilize that extra first-round pick to move up.
Oh, I think that's a good call.
You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, they're probably going to say, hey, maybe they try to get...
I hope they do. There's the thing, but then again...
New England trades a lot, and they have a history of trading with Baltimore. If you recall, the... what draft was that? The 2010 draft, I believe? No, it was like maybe the 2008 draft. New England traded with Baltimore, and then Baltimore took the blindside fella.
Okay.
Michael.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'm not going to fill it. I'm not going to help
O'Hare. Michael O'Hare.
Yeah.
Michael Orr.
Overrated movie.
What do you mean? Sandy Bullock walking around in tight little skirt, meow hickey. Ooh. She's so
We've been
pretty.
through this.
What do you
Saturday night with the
mean?
kids, I watched The Sandlot.
Blindside was just on HBO this weekend.
And did you watch it?
You're damn right I did.
Did you watch Mortal Kombat?
No,
Me
not
neither.
yet.
I was supposed to watch Mortal Kombat with my kids, and they were like,
I had
no.
to watch.
I was like,
I had
who
to
doesn't
watch.
want to watch Mortal Kombat?
I had to watch the final thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now Captain America and Winter Soldier.
So I watched The Sandlot with them because they hadn't seen it through, and by the end of it, I was like, this is
killing me, Smalls.
The last like 20 minutes are just unnecessary.
I just can't believe Darth Vader was in it.
Oh yeah, well he's in. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, real quick, some other things. I think Mikey brought it up, and I think Easer A's did, or Anderson did as well. The entire Fernando Tatis weekend.
Dude was raking.
Yeah,
they
well,
lost, but man,
he just
Did you see Bauer's comments on it?
Yes, I did. We'll get to that. So the thing about Fernando Tatis is he hurt his shoulder swinging a bat. He had actually hurt it previously, sliding into a base in spring training, and then and then everybody was like, he's not coming back within 10 days, and he came back within 10 days. And like, oh, it's too quick. And the Padres like, whatever, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And he hit a home run his first at bat, and then he like proceeded to hit like 100 after that in his next like 5 games, and everyone's like, see, told you. And then he just went crazy over the weekend, just yakking all over the place, and hit 2 home runs in the same inning. Made covered one eye in reference to Trevor Bauer working on a new pitch with one eye closed. And Trevor Bauer's quote, I think I have it. Hold on a second. He said, in the spring, the new technique Trevor Bauer did when practice pitching with one eye, Trevor Bauer said, I figured if they can't score off of me with one eye open, it's going to be difficult to score off me with 2 eyes open. Just having a little bit of fun. And that's what he did. So then Tatis hit the home run, and then he turned around to his dugout and covered one eye.
It's great. I think it's great.
It is good. And don't get me wrong. And then he had 5 home runs in 3 days. Bauer, in turn, said, I think that pitchers that have done to them and react by throwing at people, I think that pitchers that have done that to them. So he's thinking about like this. He said, I think it's pretty soft. If you give up a homer, a guy should celebrate it. It's hard to hit in the big leagues, so I'm all for it. And I think that it's important that the game moves in that direction and that we stop throwing at people because they celebrate having some success on the field. Fair. Good for him. Whatever else. He didn't stop there, though. Then he turned around and said, I forget the catcher's name now, and someone's going to have it on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. But he said if you, I'd maybe call him Daddy. He's like, if you need to know the sign, just ask Daddy what he's throwing. Because he was alluding to that Tatis looked back and saw the signs. And there isn't a bat where it kind of looks like his head goes back there, but how many at-bats does this man have in just his few years in Major League Baseball? And to sit there and to be like the one out of 5 home runs in 3 days, you get the one at bat where he happens to glance back, and you're going to call him a cheater? Like, stop. Yeah, no.
I didn't think that was against the rules.
You can't look back at signs.
You can't? Why not?
You can't. I don't know what happens after that. You're not allowed to look back at signs. Am I wrong there?
I never heard that rule. I don't know. I mean, I would be afraid while you're looking back at the sign, he throws the ball.
Yeah, that should throw you off a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I just never know anymore what to get with Trevor Bauer. I'm off the Trevor Bauer wagon.
Yeah.
I am. Like, I used to like him for standing by his convictions and the things he said, and I'm like, this guy's a little nuts. I like that. And doesn't really hold true to what he says. I think he's almost like Kyrie Irving, to be honest with you. Yeah. He's doing things out of reaction. Kyrie Irving doesn't really believe that the earth is flat. He just says it because he wants to see people's reactions on social media. And Trevor Bauer is the same way. Yeah. Trevor Bauer is not...
Wait a minute, the earth's not flat?
Yeah, Trevor Bauer is not definitely holding out from having a relationship with another female, even though he said he'll never do it. It's not true. Right. He's definitely had one. Same thing with Trevor Bauer said, I will not sign a multi-year contract. The only thing he did do was sign a 3-year, but he has the option. He has the clause to option out after 1 year. So he signed it, but he has that thing, so he still holds that he doesn't have to take paintball to the private area. So I'm not a big Trevor Bauer guy. But all right, NFL draft. You comes to mind. What is the when I say NFL draft bust? What comes to mind?
Bust. Ryan Leaf.
Okay, that's a fair one. Obviously, right?
Trying to think of his first name, but Phillips, the running back from Nebraska.
That's pretty good. You're. It's according to. Yeah, good job. According to people.
Another
at
one.
CBSSports.com. Yeah, they've got. It's in the top 5. Yeah.
Another one. Who is the cat at Tennessee? I think he won a national title at Tennessee.
T. Martin did not get drafted.
Okay. All right.
He might have got drafted.
There was another guy, but it doesn't seem like,
What do you want to say? Do you want to say Heath Schuler?
Yeah, Heath Schuler. That's the
or number 21 for Tennessee.
Yes,
He played. No, he was number 5 for Washington Redskins. Who went before him in that draft?
Heath Schuler's who I was thinking of.
Who went before him in that draft? Oh no, that was the one. So there's a story behind this. What was I was just hearing this today. So you know this is kind of fun. And again, this is why I enjoy the show, because this is exactly like if you're in the radio and you're tuning in for the first time, you're thinking these two ding-dongs have ADD. But this is exactly how conversation should go at happy hour. And this is what we have. Right. So you know the clip where the Colts GM rips Kiper and just says, like, who is Mel Kiper? Has he ever worn a jockstrap? He has ever done this and that? Do you know that audio? I'll try to pull it up during break. But the thing that's famous about it is, who is Mel Kiper? What does he know? Why do we give this guy any amount of credit? And this is very early, and because we're talking about Heath Schuler, and I'm going to come up with the other guy soon. And he just GM is just ripping him a new one, all right? And the camera pans back to Mel Kiper, and this is the first time like Mel Kiper has actually like been acknowledged, which I think probably escalated his career, because now all of a sudden people are like, yeah, who is Mel Kiper? And I don't know how strong the internet was then, but Mel Kiper. And he just has this look on his face like, this guy just blindsided me. I didn't know he was going to say my name. Well, the story is the reason they went to Mel Kiper was they couldn't go to this other guy, because there's only like 5 guys at the draft at the time. This was before it was a bigger deal. Who was the quarterback? And I'm going to come up with it. But he ended up going to the Colts that year. But they couldn't go to the other guy because the quarterback who got drafted, his wife was crying because she thought for sure they were going to the Redskins. Like everything was he's getting drafted at Redskins. So she has already like planned a home, looked at homes or whatever else. And that's the year that Heath Schuler went as well. So, I mean, I can obviously look it up and everything, but that's those comments and Mel Kiper is all because the producer in the back was like, we do not want to have this crying woman on the scene. So what made Mel Kiper famous is 2 things. That quote, and his reaction, his nonverbal reaction on the thing is what made him what he is today because of it. All right. CBSSports.com ranked the 10 biggest draft pick busts in the last 30 years.
Tony Mandarich.
That's in the last 30 years?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
well,
close. He was 89.
It's really close. But there's one that's real. There's one that's real close to that though. Colts 1992.
Todd Marinovich.
Steve Ettman.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that guy was ripped. So Heath Schuler went 3rd overall pick in 1994. So this is the 1994 draft, is what I was just referring to.
Okay.
Lawrence Phillips is there. Like you said, he went 1996. He was a 6th overall pick. Even though he was accused of multiple crimes, they drafted him anyway. The Rams did.
Didn't he end up being a Bear for a short time, too?
I think he did get signed for a short time, yeah. Unfortunately, ended up taking his own life, though, in 2016.
Right.
We know the Ryan Leaf one. That story is synonymous almost. Actually, it's not synonymous. So I'm glad that Peyton Manning is no longer, like, married to that draft. Jamarcus Russell was a big one.
Oh, God,
2007, the 1st overall pick.
Terrible.
That was bad. We've already talked about this. The 1999 draft, Akili Smith to the Bengals. Yeah. That one was really, really bad. So he, in 4 seasons, he only started 17 games with the Bengals. All right, so there's another one out here that's kind of hits close to home, which sucks. There's 2003 Charles Rogers, a wide receiver. They took him with the 2nd overall pick. Did not work out for them at all.
He was with Detroit, right?
Yep. He attended Michigan State.
Yep.
Wide receiver Justin Blackman of the Jaguars went 5th overall in 2012. Add that to the list of other guys that I drafted late in my fantasy leagues that never panned out. This is why I don't win fantasy leagues, I guess. Could be a list. There's also what was the one that 2004 Raiders taking, like I said, hits close home, Robert Gallery instead of Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Gallery didn't really have a great career. I mean, he played a while, but he wasn't as good as what we thought he was going to be. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. The 2005 draft, it's not a bust, it's just a blunder. Aaron Rodgers falling all the way to pick number 24.
Yeah.
And that's another situation to see just now in 15 years or more. I mean, I take away last year, and they're only inviting so many. But there was, in the 2005, there's a documentary that was shown over the weekend on NFL Network about the 2005 draft. And there were only 5 guys in attendance at the draft. And Aaron Rodgers was one of them. And they kept going back to him because they had nothing else to show. All the other 4 went within the first 8 picks. And so he's sitting there for hours. And we're going back to the draft room, not the war room, the draft room, where he's sitting at a table all by himself, and you can see it. And it's the documentary is supposed to be about the 2005 draft, but in the end, it ends up being a documentary about Aaron Rodgers just waiting to be picked. And it's over and over answering the same questions like, yes, I'm still here. Yes, I understand that. Yes.
Waiting.
Hey, Peggy, good to see you again. Did they send you back to talk to me again? Okay, sounds good. It's a 50-50, and I guess, and we're going to talk to Alex at 1:30, but have you ever looked back on, have you looked back at all on any mock drafts at all?
Say, looking up last year's mock drafts,
Mhm.
comparing? Just my own.
Just your own? Well, let's see. Let's see if I can do the... I want to pull up the 2021. Let's just see how this works. The internet's interesting. Way too early. Okay, 2021, way too early mock draft. All right, you ready for this?
Okay.
April 27th, 2020. You want to do the SI one? Okay.
Yeah.
Way too early, 2021 draft. All right, so see how good they do. They do have the Jaguars at 1. It doesn't matter where it is. Okay, we'll just give you the numbers. Trevor Lawrence at 1.
Okay.
And again, this was April 27th of 2020. You ready?
Yep.
Number 2, they have Penei Sewell.
Okay.
Number 3, Gregory Rousseau.
Wow.
Number 4, Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Number 5, Justin Fields.
All right.
Number 6, Patrick Surtain II.
All right.
Number 7, Justin Ross.
Who?
Wide receiver out of Clemson.
Okay. I don't think he's in this draft.
I don't think he is either. Number 8,
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle.
All right.
Number 9,
Yeah.
Micah Parsons.
All right.
Number 10, Walker Little.
He is, yeah.
Number 11,
Okay.
Sean Wade.
Dwayne Wade?
Sean Wade,
Don't know him.
cornerback out of Ohio State. Number 12,
Oh, he fell far.
Number 12, Samuel Cosme.
Okay. Yeah. He's still first round talent.
Number 13,
Okay.
Dylan Moses.
Linebacker out of Alabama.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's not first round talent right now.
Number 14,
Okay.
Xavier Thomas. Edge out of Clemson.
Okay, I don't think he's coming out.
Number 15, Liam Eichenberg.
Yeah, the tackle out of Notre Dame. They got him second round now. Some mocks have him first, but I don't
Number 16,
Okay.
Seth Williams.
No.
Uh-uh.
Don't know. What is he?
Wide receiver out of Auburn.
No.
Number 17,
right.
Alex Leatherwood.
Tackle out of Alabama.
Yeah, love that name.
He is a beast, man. I think he's going second round, but that dude, I think he just looks nasty to me.
18, Marvin Wilson.
Marvin Wilson.
It's your cousin Marvin.
Is he an outside linebacker?
It says interior defensive lineman from Florida State.
Oh, okay. All right. I know who he is now.
He's a former 5-star recruit. Number 19.
Okay.
Pat Fryermuth.
That is a tight end out of Penn State.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's a second round talent now. Okay.
Here's a good one for you at 20.
Who?
Jamie Newman, quarterback from Georgia.
Nope.
He's a graduate transfer from Wake Forest.
Don't think that panned out for him.
No, it didn't work out for him. He is not one of the quarterbacks mentioned in this draft. 21, Paulson Adabu, cornerback out of Stanford.
No.
22, Rondale Moore.
Yep, he is the receiver out of Purdue.
23, Richard LeConte, safety out of Georgia.
Nope.
Nope is right. Number 24, Israel Makuamu, sorry, cornerback out of South Carolina.
Nope.
Nope. 25.
Maybe J.C. Horn?
Tyson Campbell.
Okay, that's the cornerback out of Georgia.
Mhm.
He's an interesting pick. He can go late first round or second round. I got this great rating. This guy, he's a cowboy dude. He does, or not a cowboy dude, but he does a lot of stuff for the online thing on cowboy stuff. Anyway, he did a player ranking. Take on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I'm trying to see where he has Tyson Campbell at real quick. His name's Marcus Mosier. But he has... That's going on here. Like, they do have a 26, Trey Lance is on there. Just Devontae Smith is in the top first rounder. Hamza Nasser he's got Tyson Campbell is
Trey Smith,
is at 2.
I'm just saying that.
But he has him ranked the 38th best player in the draft.
The draft, the mock, everything else obviously changes all the time. That's why somebody, I think Ryan Wilson from CBS Sports has written this week will be his 33rd or 34th mock draft that he's done.
Oh, wow.
That he's written for just that site alone. And
Keep going with this one.
Well, we got to take a break because at 1:30 we're going to talk to Alex, but we can come back with it. I'll finish it up for you. You want me to finish it up for you real quick?
Right
okay.
now.
All right. So what number am I at?
I need 26.
26 with Trey Lance.
Okay. Well, that we knew.
Yep. And then 27, Creed Humphrey.
Yep. He's the guard, or I think maybe a tackle. I think he's a guard out of Oklahoma State. Oklahoma.
There you go.
Yep.
Quincy Roche.
Nope.
No, edge out of Miami. Nope.
Nope.
Then Devontae Smith at 29.
Okay.
Then the one I said, Hamza Nassereddin,
Mm-hmm.
safety out of Florida State.
Florida State.
Mm-hmm. He's 6'4".
He'll probably go third roundish.
Okay.
But I think he's going to be a pretty decent player.
And then Trey Smith.
He is a offensive lineman from Tennessee.
Absolutely, he is. And then Jay Tufele.
Jay Tufele, he is a defensive tackle from USC.
That's right. Look at that. My boy's wicked smart. That's it. That's the 32 they have. And like I said, that was almost
I did
a
some
year.
studying on
Yeah,
this.
you did. Yeah, you did a good job. All right, we're going to take a
It's
break.
like schoolwork.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Alex Strofe from out there in Wisconsin. He's our Green Bay Packer guy. We're going to talk more draft with him. T-Ray and him can go back and forth, and he'll let us know exactly what what he thinks the Packers are looking for.
All right, everybody. Front Street Brewery. We've been talking about them, going down there, hanging out, drinking some of their great beer, and eating some of their awesome food. Stop down today. They have the restaurant at 208 East River Drive, and the tap room is in the Freight House Complex. I know this weekend the Farmers Market will open, so there'll be plenty of time for you to get in there and look at what they've done to that draft room. It is beautiful. Remember, they have so many good beers like the Davenport Gold, the Wise Guy, the Raging River, the Cherry Bomb Blonde. All you need to do is go to their webpage, www.frontstreetbrew.com, or their Facebook page to look at all their food and drink specials. So please stop in today. Those are our friends at Front Street Brewery.
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and cashing.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Brian Rothenberger, radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
So you say you're in the market for a truck or sedan. Maybe your family needs a minivan. Perhaps you just want a little coupe. Well, you can find them all at Weber Auto Group.
PointsBet understands that in sports, it pays to be fast. Download the PointsBet app now and use code Iowa2K to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Whether you're a bettor or a baller, a sharp or a sharpshooter, if you're making money or just playing money, sports is speed. Luckily, your sports book can keep up. When you bet with PointsBet, you get faster bets, faster withdrawals, and faster rewards at your fingertips. Plus, right now, PointsBet is giving customers the best odds on all pro sports. That's better odds and bigger payouts on our lightning fast app because PointsBet knows every second matters. Time is money and it pays to be fast. PointsBet has the best odds on all pro sports, so download the app now and use code Iowa2K to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. See for yourself why bettors are calling PointsBet innovative, lightning quick, and the reason they have ditched the other books. Download the app now to experience Iowa's premium sports book for yourself. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. Now, Town Square has new tools that can help your business stand out and grow today. Go to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free local market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses in town are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too with Town Square. Plus, be one of the first business owners to sign up with Town Square and receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Start growing your business today. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com. That's GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
Start with everyone whose mom was even more superhuman than usual this past year, like super duper human. Now narrow it down to those who want to show their appreciation but haven't quite found the time to get a Mother's Day gift. For you, there's Walgreens with Hallmark cards, fragrances, and personalized photo gifts you can create and pick up the same day. Personalized? Ooh, she'll love that. Shop Walgreens for gifts she'll love in an instant.
This week, get up to 60% off photo gifts. Offer good through 5/22. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/photo for details.
Cleaning your fuel system can make your car run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner and add it to your tank during your next fill-up. On sale now, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by and talk to our professional parts people today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. So you say you're in the market for a truck or sedan. Maybe your family needs a minivan. Perhaps you just want a little coupe. Well, you can find them all at Weber Auto Group.
I'm Kyle Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. I think the Jets are going to love him. That's what Zach Wilson's college coach says of the quarterback projected in every NFL.com mock draft to be New York's selection with that second overall pick. BYU assistant Fezi Zataki tells the New York Post that Wilson has the perfect demeanor to succeed as a Jet, saying, quote, that type of innate swagger and confidence and competitive nature that New York has, that is Zach Wilson. It's not Wilson, but Trey Lance, who's the most mentally ready quarterback in the draft, according to his old coach. North Dakota State's Matt Ince says he let Lance run the offense from the field because he was so good at analyzing defenses on the fly and audibly into the perfect play. Lance and Wilson will be among the 13 prospects who will be at the draft in Cleveland to hear their name called, and we'll be there too. We'll have all 3 days of the draft live on NFL Network starting this Thursday night at 8 Eastern. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Come in and celebrate Lowe's Spring Fest before it's over with 4 bags of select Scott's mulch for $10. Or to grow your garden, we've got 4 11.8-ounce Bonnie vegetables and herbs for $10. Give your garden and lawn the full spring treatment. Spring Fest, a festival of fun and savings for your garden and total home. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Offers valid through 4/28 while supplies last. In-store only. Selection varies by location. U.S. only, excluding Alaska and Hawaii.
Napa know-how.
Get a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil and a platinum filter for just $26.48. They're like the only couple you don't mind inviting over. They help you with your car, they save you money, and they never display their affection publicly. That's Napa full synthetic and a platinum filter for $26.48. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/21.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB Davenport, a Town Square media station.
Welcome back, peeps. We are here in the Hasselcast. We're going to make a phone call up to our friend
Alex up in Stevens Point. Is that right? Yeah. Wisconsin. He's our Green Bay Packer guy. We're going to talk draft with him. We haven't talked to him in a while, so it's good to catch up with him. This is what I do. I just reach out to people for you listeners.
Reach your outer, man.
I know. Reach your
Happy Monday.
Hey, buddy.
Yo.
Thanks for answering the call, man.
Of course, guys. Good to be with you. It's been a while.
I know. Alex, what have you been up to? Tell the listeners what you've been doing.
How's things up there in the Northwoods?
I mean, drinking beer and surviving, I guess, would be my answer. But in all seriousness, I mean, ramping up for the draft here. Still on some Bucks coverage, and obviously Brewers season now underway. So it's been busy, but we're really looking forward to the draft later this week.
I'll tell you what, they just did a weekend stand against the Cubs. That new hat, bringing back the old logo with the navy blue and the yellow. I'm not a Brewer fan, but that hat, I got to get one of those hats.
Yeah, it's money, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
One of the best, if not the best logo in baseball. But we can certainly go on for days on an argument like that.
Yeah,
but no doubt, and they're playing good ball too, so that helps even more.
You mentioned something else, one that we probably doesn't get ramped up too much until, I mean, it's getting close to, but the Bucks up there. How are things looking for the Bucks in the postseason?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let's start with last night's loss to the Atlanta Hawks. That was disappointing. It was pure blown meltdown mode for Milwaukee there in the fourth quarter. But it was really confusing because, earlier this weekend and later last week, there was 2 big wins over Philadelphia, who's in first place in the Eastern Conference. So, it's kind of a roller coastery, confusing loss that they took last night. I still look at Milwaukee as one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference. I think they're playing some of their best basketball, last night excluded, as we get close, about a month out from the playoffs. So, again, this is a team that has a solid shot in the Eastern Conference, and, likely they will disappoint again.
Yeah. It's interesting coming out of the East. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where to put the money at for a futures bet. Is it going to be Milwaukee? Is it going to be the Nets? Is it going to be the 76ers? That's the thing.
I like Brooklyn right now, but I think any of those 3 is a pretty safe bet.
Gotcha. All right, so we're no different than anybody else, Alex, and I'm sure you aren't either. There's been a lot of mock drafts going on. We've beat it down to a nauseum just like everybody else. But what I want to reach out to you was to talk the draft with you, and also kind of for our Green Bay Packer fans that are listeners, kind of like where you see they're at, because you've got more of your thumb on the pulse of what's going on with Packer Nation than we do. So let's talk a little bit about the draft. First things first, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers and what they're going to do with their first-round draft pick.
Sure. Yeah, I think obviously last year was the shell shock that everybody didn't expect. Obviously trading up and going quarterback in last year's first round. So hopefully I'm a little bit more accurate in my analysis this year than I was last year, guys. But looking at this year, I think there's three evident needs, especially early. In no particular order, those are wide receiver, offensive tackle, and let's just say defensive back as a whole. So I think they could go any of those directions. The name that's been tossed around a lot by Packers fans right now, which they're always wrong, so I don't know why I'd take their advice, but Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver out of Minnesota, I've heard his name thrown around quite a bit. If he's there at 29, I would not be shocked if the Packers went that direction. There's all sorts of different directions they could go. I like Alex Leatherwood. He might be a little bit of a reach at 29. The offensive tackle out of Alabama. I think one of my earliest draft crushes, who has now kind of fallen a little bit, maybe more of a second-round pick, is Asante Samuel Jr. So again, those are the three positional groups I'm looking at: wide receiver, offensive tackle, defensive back, because I think those are the needs that will be addressed, and they'll be addressed early by Green Bay.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that, because I did on my mock, and I had a lot of different sources, but definitely wide receiver and defensive back are two of the top needs that I had down there for Green Bay. And then I do have offensive tackle up there pretty high as well. Kind of on my mock, and I don't know what you think about this. This is just me kind of throwing things out there. And this is a guy I think has been moving up boards, and it might be a little bit of a reach, but I think he fits into what you guys would do there. Terrace Marshall at LSU. Speedy, and he has size.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's a great great poll. It's interesting though, because this wide receiver class gets a lot of comparisons, I've realized, and I'm interested to get your take on this. There's a lot of comparisons to last year's, where at the top especially, it's maybe even better than last year's class. Or in the middle, it might be a little bit worse. But this is a guy in Terrace Marshall who, he's an LSU guy. So he's had good quarterbacks. He's had good showings. He's played good defenses. And size and speed, which is what Brian Gutekunst looks for, right? You look at guys like Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard, Devin Funchess, who will be brought in this year. Those are guys with size and speed. So that'd be a great fit. I like that poll.
Yeah, and looking back at last year's draft, Ruggs was the first one, I think, first wide receiver to come off the board, but then it kind of flew there. You had Ruggs, and then a few picks down, you had Judy, and then CeeDee Lamb. Later on, obviously, the one big pick was Justin Jefferson, going to Minnesota. You also had Brandon Ayuk going to San Francisco. So, five. I think that if I'm counting right, 5 wide receivers in the first round. I think that's kind of what I got down this year. I got 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, it should be pretty similar. I wouldn't be shocked if it was 5. I'm leaning towards more 4 right now. I think Bateman will be the last one taken, but you mentioned a guy like Marshall, who somebody could definitely reach on. There in day one. So
Kadarius Toney's another name out there.
I'm sorry.
Kadarius Toney's another name out there. The kid
from Florida.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I think it's a fun class again this year, and hopefully Green Bay actually picks one this year.
Yeah.
That's so. The first thing that came to my mind, Alex, when you said that and you brought up the wide receiver, is because you alluded to it about last year's draft. Is that a skill position that the Packers take to make up to their fans after last year's blunder, to be like, oh, now we've got a sexy pick for Aaron Rodgers, or what do you think?
You pose that question really fun, right? Is this something they do to make it up to the fans? No, because they don't give a damn what the fans have to say. However, they should give a damn what Aaron Rodgers has to say.
There you go.
He was clearly not happy with them not going the direction of really any weapons last year. He's been pretty vocal that he knows they're a step away, and what would really take them over that hump, at least in Aaron Rodgers' opinion, is a wide receiver or a tight end or somebody, one of those sexy positions that we often allude to. So I hope they go wide receiver. I'm not convinced they'll do it round one. I'm not even convinced they'll do it in the first 2 days. But I know they'll dip their toe in, rather earlier than later, preferably. But, that's not how the Packers typically operate. So I look at a guy like maybe Dwayne Eskridge out of Western Michigan, who might be a round 3 guy where they could maybe reach on him. He's a true slot guy, and they haven't had one of those since Randall Cobb. I look at a guy that could be, make it to day 3, Amari Rogers out of Clemson. Another speedy, not super sizable guy, but still a guy that would fit into the system. Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is the brother of Equanimous St. Brown out of USC, also looking at either a late day 2 or an early day 3 guy. So there's options out there, and I do think this is the year that Brian Gutekunst does get one. I just don't know if it'll be as sexy of a name as maybe many people would like.
Are there any rumors that you hear that they're going to trade up at all?
Not right now, but I'll tell you this. Brian Gutekunst likes to trade in the first round, whether it be up or down. It's usually been down, but he's traded up before too. I've said this for the last week, so I'll double down on it right here. I will be surprised if the Packers pick at number 29.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's good to know.
I know some teams. There's definitely teams that want to trade up from their, maybe not too far down into the second round up to that spot too.
Yeah.
So I know there's been talk that I've seen that the Cowboys are looking to trade up because they got the 10th pick, but they want to get something that's a late first round, early second round talent, and they don't want to miss out because they don't pick until 44. So that I've heard that, and I've also heard the same thing about the Giants. So.
Yeah, I think we'll see, right? I think there's a lot of talent, especially on the offensive line and defensive line, both the lines that could drop right into that 29 position where it might be a little too much. I look at a guy like Christian Barmore out of Alabama.
Right.
I look at a guy like Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State who could maybe fall. I don't expect either of them to, but if they do, to 27, 28, 29, watch out because you're going to be getting offers. And that's why I look at Green Bay and Brian Gutekunst. If there's not somebody sitting there that he's really, really high on or he's really, really crazy about, like he was with Jair Alexander, like he was with Rashawn Gary, I think movement would be almost expected because he's going to make the most out of these 3 days. And I don't know, that pick 29 is really going to be as effective as maybe we expect. I referenced to a couple of years back. This would have been. I think Ted Thompson's final year with Green Bay, but that was the year T.J. Watt was available and the Packers were on the clock, and they traded out of that pick. And Watt being a Wisconsin guy, everybody in Wisconsin was really pissed off because they wanted to see, a reunion there. But, and that was ultimately the Kevin King draft pick you Iowans are aware of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but I will be surprised if they pick at 29.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is you're talking about a possible trading up, right? And
I look either way, yeah.
Okay, if they're trading up, who do you see targets? Because here's the 2 targets that I see looking at this draft right now that I think would trade out of their position. I think it would be at number, 1 would be, I do think 4, I think Atlanta should make a trade somewhere and add some stock, but I don't know if they want to drop all the way down to 29. Would Detroit at 7 be an option because they are in the division? Is that something? I question that sometimes because, like in baseball, they don't want to trade with interdivision type of thing. And I don't know how much football works that way. 7 I see, and I also see at, looks like 17, the Raiders. Those are the spots that I kind of see the Packers fitting in. What about you?
I think 7's too high. And while they have the capital, they have, 10 picks, I think, in this year's draft. So certainly they have the capital to maybe make a jump that high. I don't expect that. I expect maybe, moving up from 29 to, I look at Tennessee at 22. I look at New York with the Jets with their second pick at 23. Right in that sweet spot, somewhere between 21 and 25. If there's a guy out there like a Tevin Jenkins, who I know a lot of people are high on, Bakhtiari obviously not going to be ready most likely for the start of the season. Is Billy Turner the answer at right tackle? So I think tackle is certainly a position where I think they can make a jump. I don't know that a wide receiver would cause them to trade up, but, you mentioned Kadarius Toney. I mentioned Rashad Bateman earlier. if those are names that maybe the wide receivers are flying off the board, we could say make a move. I don't know about trading up. I would actually more expect trading down, but I can never predict what Gutekunst is going to do on draft day.
Gotcha. You did say that. Let's see, that you said that they will not be picking at 29, and you're going to double down on the show. Have you made any other, outside of just the Packers, do you have any other bold predictions for this draft that you see coming that maybe other people have not said?
They'll draft a quarterback in the first round. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't draft a wide receiver again. I think I'd be angry, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do it a second year in a row. I think Aaron Rodgers would be as angry as me, if not more angry. But, I've always known the Packers, especially in the draft, to be a team that's not going to reach, and they're not going to be a team that wants to listen to the fans necessarily. They're going to grab the best available player and a guy that they think will fit into their system the best. So if they're picking, maybe at 62 or 61, whatever that second-round pick is, and they see, a guy like maybe Dwayne Eskridge there, or a guy like Elijah Moore, who probably still won't be around, but in the case he is, he needs to be the best guy on the board. It's not a wide receiver thing. It's not a field of positional need thing with Green Bay. It never has been. So it's frustrating as a fan to watch it go down, but they're in that room for a reason, and I'm not. So I'll say that. Yeah, if they don't draft a wide receiver, I won't be shocked. I'll just be pissed.
That's great.
Well, obviously some of the news in the wide receiver front, but I don't know because of dead cap space whatsoever. I mean, they could also maybe make the phone call to Atlanta and say, like, hey, what's it take to get Julio Jones?
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one. I doubt it.
I doubt it, too. I'd just like to throw it out
there.
there.
I like you playing that. That's fun. I think that is an interesting story that came out this morning, no doubt. So, yeah, I doubt it, but that is a fun. Now you got my mind spinning over here. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, you could Atlanta. I truly believe Atlanta and Detroit are both in rebuilding type of years. I think Atlanta right now at the 4 is in a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you trade out of there and build draft capital, you're missing out on Kyle Pitts. If you take Kyle Pitts and it doesn't work out, you're screwed. And he could be a Hall of Famer, and people will still crap on that pick. That's why I think 3 and 4 are the most interesting draft picks right now in the entire thing, and then it moves down to about 7 because I'm interested to see what Detroit's going to do. I think they should trade out of it as well. But I agree. If Atlanta's dangling Julio Jones out there, there is a dead cap issue in there. How much you have to take on, how much they're going to take on, but you have to pick up that phone call and see what he's worth to them. Now, I mean, I know he's injured in 2020, but it's a different year in 2020.
100%. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And when you look at right at the top of that draft, you mentioned the 3-4 spots. Whatever the 49ers do is totally going to define the first round. At least those first, the rest of that top 10, because the rumors are quarterbacks. I don't know if I'm sold on it. Really, you really think they're going to reach for Mac Jones at number 3? I think they know better than that.
I think it's Justin Fields.
I still think it's Trey Lance.
And that would make sense, too. But again, I don't even know to take a quarterback. That's been all the speculation. While I'm not a huge Jimmy Garoppolo guy, and by no means am I going to vouch that he should be the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers forever, but I don't know if quarterback's the right route for them at pick number 3, especially when you've got guys like Penei Sewell, Kyle Pitts sitting right there, Jamar Chase, maybe if they want to pair up Brandon Ayuk with another first-round wideout. I think San Francisco is smarter than we expect them to be, but I could be very wrong come Thursday.
No, I completely agree that San Francisco is smarter than we expect them to be. And if you are underestimating their front office, you're 5 years behind the curve. I just don't think the idea that everyone's saying they're going to go Mac Jones. I think what San Francisco has always been really good about is keeping their draft picks to themselves and their draft day moves to themselves. And that's why I think the idea that they're letting everyone know that it's Mac Jones is ludicrous. And that's why when everyone thinks they're zigging, I'm going with them that they're going to zag. And I went Justin Fields, T-Ra saying Trey Lance, and you're saying anybody but a quarterback. So I think when you started talking about it, the number 3 pick is going to define it. I agree 100%. That's after the first two. That's when I'm going to be on the edge of my seat of this draft. Is pick number 3.
Right. Yeah. If you hit the restroom for those first 2 picks, you're not going to miss a whole lot. But once you better get back for pick number 3 because that's when the fun's going to begin, and that's probably when the cocktails will start flowing for me because I'm going to look at San Francisco and say, what the heck are you doing right now?
Well, I'll be drinking before then. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Well, right, yeah. Well, I should know better. I'd probably be drinking 2 hours before then too. But I wanted to sound like I have it under control, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where the fun will begin on Thursday, and from there on, it's going to get wacky, I think.
So, Alex, what's your week look like? What you're covering for sports? Obviously, you've got you're already covering the Bucks and the Brewers and what's going to happen. So, like Thursday, Friday, what are you doing for like the pre-draft, and what are you doing Friday post-draft?
Yeah, sure. So Thursday night, I'll be live with Game On Wisconsin. You can find him at Game On WI on all socials with a guy named Matt Ramage. You guys may or may not be familiar. He's a big Packers fan on the interwebs, likes to drink a lot. We get along just fine. So we'll be doing a live stream during the draft. Friday morning, I'll be out at ESPN Madison. I'll be producing Wilde and Tausch with Jason Wilde and Mark Tauscher. And then Friday afternoon, back on with Game On Wisconsin during rounds 2 and 3. Saturday, I get the day off, but I'll probably watch rounds 4 through 7. Take it easy on Saturday. And then Sunday on Game On Wisconsin, we'll do a special edition of the post-draft, which is our in-season post-game show, but we're going to rock one on Sunday. I'll have a bunch of guests coming through starting at 7 Central to break down what we saw the last 3 days and what it means for the Packers. So should be a fun draft season. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I refer to the Thursday of the draft as the second best Thursday in sports behind the opening of March Madness. Typically, I guess it was on a Friday this year. But so I guess it's the best Thursday of the year this year in 2021. So I'm jacked up. I'm really looking forward to it, and I appreciate you guys letting me spew some takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's can we just pencil in something like just to talk early next week, and you can give your grade about the Packers when it's all said and done?
100%. Yep, just hit me up, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Tell everyone else where they can follow you, like on social media, before you go.
Yeah, Twitter is my main thing. You can find me on Twitter at Alex_Strofe. And then if you want to find some of my work, you can find it at Game On Wisconsin, at the Pack-A-Day podcast, and a bunch of other places. But the best way to get at me is on that cesspool that we call Twitter at Alex_Strofe.
Yeah, there you go. If you're gonna take in a pack a day, it should be your guys' podcast, right?
100%, man. 100%.
All right, Alex. Thank you so much for answering my my message and answering the phone call. We appreciate you.
Of course, guys. Appreciate the time. We'll talk next week.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. All right, bye. All right, that's our guy, Alex Strofe from Wisconsin out there. Like you said, he does the Game On. He does the Pack-A-Day podcast. Great insight. It's fun. He's a fun guy to talk to. He's got a lot of energy.
Can't believe we wouldn't follow him already.
So we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back here. Don't Hassle Us for Local on ESPN 1170 AM, and then we'll do our wrap-up of the day.
For Dancing with the QC Stars, you're listening to Don't Hassle Us for Local.
Just do it. Stop dragging yourself around feeling like you don't have to live this way. I repeat, you don't have to live this way. What you need is to replace the testosterone you have lost over time. Make an appointment at Limitless Male Medical. They will change your life. And don't do it tomorrow. Do it today. Make an appointment at Limitless Male and get your life back. Just do it at limitlessmale.com. The men's health experts. Insurance accepted.
Today, I'm gonna surprise my girlfriend of 5 years with something great for her birthday. A scented candle. I'm talking a good scent, like lavender. Not something lame like pine. I've been building this gift up too, telling her it was going to be something special. She made a joke about me knowing her ring size, and I played it off like she was on the right track. I even mentioned that her parents were fully on board with the one I picked out. She's going to be so surprised to get this candle.
Maybe clueless boyfriends just need a Snickers. Snickers satisfies.
Run with us on a John Deere Z365R Z-Track mower, built for taking it easy. With the Easy Change 30-second oil change system and standard mulch control to control your clippings without any extra effort. Because lawns aren't just for mowing, they're for living. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a new Z300 Series zero-turn mower with 0% APR for 24 months at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 1-800-226-8903.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
When you take care of the windows,
Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
Boy, I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get the most earned income credit with AmeriFile. Don't do your own taxes this year. With COVID relief, tax refunds could be at record levels. It's incredible. AmeriFile's tax preparers will compare last year's income with this year's income and select the one that gets you the most earned income credit. Repeat, AmeriFile gets you the most earned income credit guaranteed. Call AmeriFile 762-8087. Don't do your own taxes. This is not a normal tax year. AmeriFile. With the CARES Act, Stimulus Recovery Credit, and new earned income tax calculation, you'll get the most refund with AmeriFile. Switch from doing your own taxes with TurboTax, and AmeriFile prepares your federal and state taxes for only $45 to $89. Drop off your tax stuff at AmeriFile's drive-through windows in both Moline and Davenport for contactless tax prep. Call 762-8087 or AmeriFile.com. TurboTax is a registered trademark, and pricing may not include non-common forms such as Schedule C, E, and F. See AmeriFile.com for details.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Even if you weren't playing the best, which Mitchell Trubisky was not at the beginning of the year, even though the defense was stepping up their game to a different level and making him look decent, you're still undefeated. I don't understand why you get benched for Nick Foles at that time. And we're seeing it across multiple landscapes of different teams. And that relationship becomes fractured. That's hard to get back. And I think that relationship between Trubisky and Matt Nagy, the way Matt Nagy handled that with a guy like Nick Foles, that he brought in to say, hey, let's steal this thunder, I don't think you just get that back. So for anybody, it's like, oh, why we sign Andy Dalton? We could have got Mitchell Trubisky. I'm sitting there saying, if I'm Mitchell Trubisky, I don't want to go back to Chicago. Clearly. Why do I want to go back to Matt Nagy? I want nothing to do with you. You go ahead and you take all that bad karma and you keep it right there.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Holy cow. It's almost 2 o'clock.
I know. What a day. It's almost 2 o'clock. That means we could probably go hit the links at Hidden Hills Golf Course at 4335 Indiana Avenue in Bettendorf, just north of the TBK complex.
It's a warm day.
It is. Get out there.
It'd be a good day to sit on the patio at Pints.
That's right. Happy hour specials, $1 off draft at Pints as well. Yeah, Hidden Hills. Our friends Mike, we'll talk to him. We did not have a good DFS again. I'm sorry to say that every time.
But hey, speaking of Hidden Hills.
Yes.
June 19th. The Pints Golf Outing.
That's right.
Sign-ups are starting now. Just go to the bar. Sign-up sheets are there. It's $300 per team, $75 per person. This is the breakdown. We limited it to 18 teams. So get in there, get paid, get your name in. And we're working on some more details with that for you shortly. But y'all know it's par for the pork. So we're going to have some pork.
Yeah.
Prizes and everything. So that is June 19th, the Par for the Pork Golf Outing at Pints.
Yeah, and we're wrapping up the show here today on a Monday. Beautiful day out there. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow as well. I do have to tell you this, and I don't say this enough, and the people out there need to listen. We are like, pretty much everyone listening knows our background or whatever else, but you've done an incredible amount of research on this draft. And the fact that even going through it when I'm like, okay, here's these guys, is way too early. Like, the fact that you know their position, you know where they are, like, it really is impressive me, T-Roy. Because, I'm dead serious.
I can read, I retain dumb knowledge.
But it's fine. I'm just saying, like, for as much as they're, people can be like, oh, these, and we goof around and we say, like, oh, we're just happy hour talk, whatever else. It is impressive that you know it. And it's almost to the point where, like, some of it overflows onto me. I know more names than I probably have ever known in a draft before. Way more than I've ever known.
Last year was kind of the first year I really kind of got excited about it. And to compare last year's sheet to this year's sheet,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
And I find myself, I go through my daily morning routine and I'm listening to podcasts and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like arguing in my head. So it's fun. And that's what I think, and the names, the specialty positions, what makes it so much fun. But we have so much more. We're going to talk to Emily Van Buskirk tomorrow. We're going to have more guests to talk about the draft. We got to go. You guys have a great Monday. Enjoy yourselves, Quad City. Stay safe and sanitized. We will see you soon.
Peace.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City